Hey people. Um, Today was an interesting day. I had a couple things kind of come through this morning that were, I'm in this last week of the piano course. I can hardly believe that it's the last week, and of course, for many people, it's not the last week. For some people, it's just they're in week 2, but. But the group of students with whom I sort of launched the class are just finishing up, and I am getting to the end of the first round of content creation, and so it's like we're there's a chapter that's closing here and a chapter that's opening here, and in speaking to some people this morning, a couple students who had a piano pod this morning, and it was just a really interesting session. Like one of my students who's been focused completely on classical music kind of from the beginning, and I was maybe partially responsible for that too, because that's kind of what I zeroed in on in terms of her playing. But she started, we were doing an improv thing, and the other student was playing some stuff, and we worked on some songs together, and then this student started playing, and I just had the impulse to not just go into her classical music. I had the impulse to sort of like ask, hey, do you want to do some improvisation? Like, do you want to do some song, just like some playing around with song ideas stuff? And sure enough, she did, and then that's what we did. And it was really, she was just like, she had some really cool ideas come out, and it was just so fun to hear somebody who I hadn't never heard play like that just suddenly start throwing chords together and creating little riffs that sounded like pop tunes, or the way she described it was like a medieval kind of chorale type thing, and which was very accurate. It was very like chordal. I was kind of thinking church initially, like kind of church hymn type feel. And so I guess it just kind of goes to show me too, like, what I'm realizing at the end of this course is that it's, I hate to say it, and I don't even really know if this is true yet. I don't know. I don't know whether this statement is true, but it's almost not a piano course. It, of course, is a piano course. And the focus has been entirely piano, and my focus and especially the content that I've created has been very piano centric, but I would say with several of the students involved anyway, it's turning into a creativity course. It's turning into a finding your creative voice type course. And obviously it's attracting musicians, it's attracting pianists, and that's where we start. But as we go forward, as I go forward with it, and I'm obviously I'm gonna be following my students as much as I'm leading them in this, but as we kind of continue to evolve this thing, I think it may broaden. And that's really exciting, because that's kind of exactly what I was hoping would happen. I was kind of hoping it would turn into something that was not just, that didn't just allow for one area of focus in order to get a benefit from it. I was kind of hoping it would turn into something that could be really just anybody could get benefit from it. Anybody could have breakthroughs with it, and I'm even considering ways of. I had some thoughts come through this morning in meditation, or yesterday, sometime recently, about would someone even need to be able to play piano in order to do it? Could I do this course with non-pianists, with singers, with guitarists, whatever, with any kind of other musicians? And that's also really that's an exciting idea. I mean, what I've just built is definitely a piano-centric course, but I can adjust it, and there actually any number of elements. I would say a good number of elements throughout that are not. I explain them on piano and I couch them in piano terms, but they're not just piano terms. They're not just piano processes. They're musical, artistic, creative, mindfulness practice processes. And so, yeah, that's cool. That's cool to kind of recognize it here, kind of as I'm finishing up the content for the last week, to just feel that and to see that and to feel like this chapter is closing and another really exciting door is opening. That's what could be better. So yeah, that's kind of where my day's been. That's kind of what's coming through for me today. It's like, yeah, I've had a couple other, I have an exciting potential live gig coming up. There's a couple things that are definitely on the menu that are feeling good. And it's just fun to kind of clock where I am and realize that there's something new being born too. As I get to the end of this, something new is kind of emerging, even as this thing concludes. So that's where I am today, people. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I love you all. I'll see you very soon.